Watch our teamwork. Channel 4 News.
From your 24-hour news source, this is the Channel 4 News Nightcast, #1 at 11, with Tom Randalls, Susan Lichtman, meteorologist Brian Norcross, weather, Tony Segreto, sports, and the Channel 4 News team.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. A breaking story at this hour. What appears to be a major fire has engulfed a building on South Beach. We understand it's happening in the 100 block of Collins Avenue. We do have a crew on the scene, and we're going to bring you more just as soon as we can. In other news, a standoff at a Disney World area hotel ending tonight violently. The man in the center of it all, 25-year-old Michael Kravitz from Miami, who once was seen as an up-and-coming entrepreneur in South Florida. Tonight, Michael Kravitz is dead after terrorizing a community for hours. Team coverage tonight, beginning with the very latest from Disney World. Reporter Wendy Chioji from our sister station in Orlando filed this late report from Lake Buena Vista.
Orange County's SWAT team swarmed over the Buena Vista Palace after 25-year-old Michael Kravitz got away from U.S. Secret Service agents. The agents had tried to arrest Kravitz for federal credit card fraud just before 3, but Kravitz resisted.
He attempted to get their guns during the struggle, and he indicated verbally during the struggle that he would not be taken alive.
Kravitz barricaded himself into a bedroom in the upper floor of his suite. Then agents heard a gunshot.
As the agents were attempting to gain entrance to the bedroom, they heard what sounded like a gunshot. At that time, they covered each other, backed down the stairway, covered the door from the first floor, and called for backup.
Rooms in the Island Resort Suites wing were evacuated. All 30 members of Orange County's SWAT team suited up, armed themselves, and staked out the place until 6:30.
We attempted to talk to the individual for a period of time. When we got no response, we went ahead and went inside the room, and he was lying on the bed with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, apparently to the head.
The ordeal took nearly 4 hours, but Major Marcus says time was on their side.
The only individual at risk in this particular operation was the suspect in there, who ultimately had in fact committed suicide. I would rather him be the only one at risk than risk everybody else by trying to do something fast and get it over with.
I'm Wendy Chioji, Channel 4 News.
Now, Michael Kravitz is from the South Florida area. He owned a credit company in Hollywood with another branch in North Miami. But tonight, Channel 4 News has learned Kravitz had a very sordid past. Channel 4's Jose Diaz-Balart is standing by live in our Fort Lauderdale newsroom with more. Jose?
Good evening, Teresa. Michael Kravitz had an interesting past. He started his own company just 5 years after leaving college, a company which earned him thousands of dollars. But he apparently also decided he could make a lot more money by ripping people off. Michael Kravitz was well known to both South Florida police and to those who claim he ripped them off. Police tell me his run-ins with the law began in 1989 when he was 23 years old. Metro-Dade police arrested him, among other things, for writing bad checks, for grand theft and fraud. He was also arrested on a fugitive warrant. In Broward County, Kravitz was arrested, also in 1989, and charged with 5 counts of grand theft. Police say he was arrested at least 7 times. But just a year before being arrested, he was spotlighted in a South Florida magazine as an area hotshot. Kravitz's business, Universal Credit System Corporation, was booming. The company allegedly established credit for customers with little or bad credit history. Ironically, the article says this summer, 1988, he moved his 15-employee corporate offices from Hollywood to Atlanta, because he said South Florida's reputation as a haven for con artists was curtailing the number of national calls. Even so, the magazine goes on to say, while in North Miami, the company established credit for 11,000 clients at $60 a pop. Now, sources tell Channel 4 News Kravitz's family still lives in Hollywood. Plantation police tell me he listed his address at one time as being in Hollywood, another time in Gainesville. Just a few moments ago, I did speak with a friend of his tonight. She says Kravitz moved to Atlanta last year, and she describes him as a nice guy who felt money was the answer to everything. Teresa.
Okay, Jose Diaz-Balart, thanks for that live report from our Fort Lauderdale newsroom. Tom?
We're going to go back to our top story right now, a big fire on South Miami Beach. Let's show you what's going on right now. You are looking at a live picture. You don't see any flames right now, but we know that rescue crews are on the scene. You can see some firemen standing around now in what appears to be a gutted building. Our photographer, John Copeland, is standing by right now to provide us with some more information. John, what can you tell us?
Well, Tom, the fire is out now, but only 20 minutes ago, as we came across the causeway from Miami, you could see a lot of smoke and even the glow of flames from as far away as in Miami. There, I think you see some of the flames. As the firemen told me when I got here, they said they can't talk to us right now, but it's an abandoned building. Apparently, it was used for clothing at one time. There are a lot of dressers there with particle boards that burned. And one problem they did have is just to the north of the burning building is an apartment complex that had to be evacuated because of the smoke, which is a little tough right here.
John, we're back at your live picture right now. Any word on if anybody was injured, anybody has succumbed by smoke, even in the adjacent apartment complex?
No, we haven't gone that far north yet. As I said, we just got here. But the firemen are certainly worried about smoke problems here with their own health.
Any indication right now, John, what caused it?
Nothing yet. It's way too soon to tell at this point, Tom.
All right, John Copeland, our photographer at the scene, thank you for that live report. In other news, a tragic end tonight to an attempt by a group of refugees to flee the Dominican Republic. 6 of the 8 stowaways have been found dead inside containers aboard a ship at the port of Palm Beach. Channel 4's David Bloom is standing by live at the scene with more. Dave?
Well, Tom, authorities here at the port had actually feared that there might be more dead stowaways aboard the ship. But after a thorough search, those fears proved to be unfounded. Still, that doesn't in any way lessen the magnitude of this tragedy. It took the freighter Tropic Rain only 2 days to make the voyage from the Dominican Republic to Palm Beach. But of the 8 stowaways sealed inside an airtight cargo container, only these 2 men made it out alive.
The quality of life there is very bad. Very bad. There's a lot of desperation.
It was an act of desperation that cost 6 men their lives. Authorities say the 8 stowaways were smuggled into a clothing container Saturday night. That container was then sealed and loaded onto the ship, which set sail Sunday morning from the Dominican port of Puerto Plata.
The 2 people who survived apparently were at the other end of the container, and as I understand it, were able to drill a hole and get some fresh air, and eventually cut a little hole, and were able to escape out of the area at the other end of the container.
It was an organized smuggling thing where there was monies paid to somebody to assist them in entering the country.
It was a smuggling operation that preyed upon those most desperate to escape the poverty of a poor country and willing to take what proved to be a fatal chance at freedom. Tonight, it's all quiet aboard the Tropic Rain. The 2 stowaways who survived the voyage are now headed down to Miami to the Chrome Detention Center, where they'll be processed and more than likely shipped back to the Dominican Republic. Tom?
Tragic story indeed, Dave. Thank you for that live report. Teresa?
A bombshell dropped tonight involving another Cuban defector. The Cuban government saying a Cuban intelligence agent, Jose Rafael Fernandez Brenes, actually faked his defection in 1988 and went to work for TV Marti, where his information helped authorities in Cuba jam the U.S. government's televised transmissions to the island. Seen here, you're about to see him here. He is talking on Cuban television this evening, explaining just how he pulled it off. Brenes returned to Cuba on June 12th, but not before also infiltrating the CIA and the FBI. No comment tonight by either of the 2 agencies on the Cuban government's disclosure. Channel 4 News is working on obtaining a complete copy of Brenes' interview on Cuban TV and will bring you an in-depth report tomorrow. A prominent Cuban defector is speaking out in our community tonight. Roberto Cassine headed the Cuban news agency's Mexico City bureau before asking for political asylum here in the U.S. He says he couldn't work for a government he feels has abandoned the Cuban people.
The people are suffering for the economic situation and the political crisis in the island. And it was my conscience that told me that I have to do it because I cannot support a position against my people.
Cassine says he made his decision last month after agonizing over it for quite some time.
Well, coming up on the Channel 4 News Nightcast, more building in the Keys. Not if one group has its way. We'll have a live report.
And she lost her 2-year battle with cancer. A look back at the career of actress Lee Remick when the Nightcast returns.
This year, Standard Brand's explosive July 4th sale starts on the 3rd for 2 days of guaranteed unbeatable low prices. RCA VCRs $177, palm-size Panasonic camcorders $644, 19-inch color TVs with remote $177, GE 2-door refrigerators $297, 5,000 BTU air conditioners $177, GE large capacity automatic washers $212. It's no money down, no interest for 12 months. Standard Brand's July 4th and 3rd sale.
This is it, your last chance. VIP Furniture closes its doors Monday forever. It's the final days and final markdowns at both VIP Furniture showrooms. Bring all offers, everything must go. This is your last chance. Name your price on leather furniture, wall units, dining rooms. Monday, July 8th, it's over. Get to VIP now in Northwest 8 and Lauderhill.
Your car not making you as happy as it once did? Sounds like it's time for a new Nissan. Right now, you can make your best deal on Stanza with a more powerful standard engine than Camry or Accord. Maxima, the #1 selling import in its class. Or the 4-door V6 Pathfinder. The Screaming Summer Spectacular ends July 6th, so see your Florida Nissan dealer today. He'll give you something to smile about.
He won a day behind the camera on a steamy penthouse pet shoot.
A Current Affair, weekdays at 7 following NBC Nightly News, only on Channel 4.
Coming up later on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, it's America's best-loved game show host, Jay Leno.
This isn't Family Feud, folks, okay?
The surprising personal side of John Chancellor.
She was a beautiful 25-year-old red-headed girl.
Comedian Jeff Altman shares his visions of remodeling.
I was under the crawl space of your house, and I got gas so bad the sprinklers come on.
Then on Late Night, Dave welcomes actress Carol Kane and musical guests Edgar Winter and Rick Derringer.
God bless you. Hi, nice to see you. And by the way, drive safely.
That's Jay and Dave later tonight.
From your 24-hour news source, Channel 4 News continues.
A plan to severely limit development in the Florida Keys is getting very vocal reaction tonight. Channel 4's Earth News reporter Nick Bogert is at the Key Colony Beach City Hall, where the heated discussion has continued through the evening. Nick?
Yeah, Terry, no question. This is where Florida's hottest growth management debates are taking place. The Florida Keys. A lot of people say they are being developed to death. A lot of other people say they're being regulated to death. And to give you a good idea of just how strong the passions are, look at how many folks are left after a 6-hour debate. Most of them against tightening growth limits.
Stand up. You want to stand up? Stand up. They said they were standing up against unreasonable regulation. These are the real people. Many were builders and craftsmen who said new growth limits would make them an endangered species. What's on the table here is a plan to limit the number of permits for single-family homes to just 133 in the next year, compared to almost 700 permits issued last year.
Stop scaring these people to death. They're afraid that they'll never be able to use the lot that they've invested their entire life savings in.
The crowd said the new rules were unfair, would penalize average people, and ruin Monroe County's economy.
If you pass this thing, we're going to leave, and we're not going to be able to come back. And your county's going to die. So just think about that.
The few who urged growth limits were not always treated gently.
Let him talk. Everybody has the right to be wrong.
But many say unlimited growth in the past is what's been wrong, endangering water quality and perhaps lives in the event of a hurricane. The state says storm evacuation should take no more than 12 to 24 hours, but if a hurricane were to hit here tomorrow, it would take about 35 hours for all the Keys evacuees to head up US 1, the only road out. And a lot of Keys residents apparently do want tighter growth limits, though you wouldn't know it from tonight's crowd. Slow growth advocates did win the commission races last fall, and as for opinion polls,
93% of the respondents agreed with the statement. Environmental protection should be a priority when making decisions regarding growth and development.
commissioners face a political no-win and an almost certain court fight no matter what they decide.
Let me tell you that I recognize a litigation breeder when I see it.
Now, a lot of the contractors were pretty well convinced that they were fighting a losing battle here, that 3 of the 5 commissioners were ready to clamp down on growth. But some people in county government seem to think that there is still some room for a compromise and possibly to sway some minds. Last speaker just now finishing up. If a decision's in before news time, we'll let you know. Back to you, Terry.
All right, thank you, Nick, for that live report. Tom?
Hollywood mourning the loss of another star tonight. Actress Lee Remick died today of kidney and lung cancer. Remick began performing in 1953 on Broadway. In 1957, she made the first of more than 20 movies, including The Long Hot Summer, Anatomy of a Murder, and The Days of Wine and Roses, for which she earned an Academy Award nomination. Actor Jack Lemmon was a friend and co-star in Wine and Roses.
I want to come home. There is no single moment in my career or my life professionally that ever meant more to me than The Days of Wine and Roses.
Remick had been ill for more than 2 years. In April of this year, she received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Tonight, flowers were laid on her star in her memory.
And coming up next on the Channel 4 News Nightcast, a big day for Miami's Mary Jo Fernandez. She advances to the women's semifinals at Wimbledon.
And you might call it a cash advance of sorts if you pick tonight's cash-free winners. They are 1, 7, 9. Good luck.
My daughter Wendy said to me, Dad, I think you've got to come up with some new kind of foods. Be different. Get on the cutting edge. She may be right. So I had an idea for a special chicken sandwich.
Introducing Wendy's Chicken Cordon Bleu, a boneless breast of chicken, ham, Swiss cheese, Grey Poupon, and mayonnaise on a toasted Kaiser bun.
That looks delicious.
Hey, Dad, where are you?
In the kitchen, on a cutting edge.
Try the new Chicken Cordon Bleu sandwich at Wendy's for a limited time.
This year, Standard Brand's explosive July 4th sale starts on the 3rd for 2 days of guaranteed unbeatable low prices. RCA VCRs $177, palm size Panasonic camcorders $644, 19-inch color TVs with remote $177, GE 2-door refrigerators $297, 5,000 BTU air conditioners $177, GE large capacity automatic washers $212. It's no money down, no interest for 12 months. Standard Brand's July 4th and 3rd sale.
It is one of the most rigorously tested fluids on Earth, relentlessly measured for maximum protection against the friction, the heat, and stress of today's engines. It is today's Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
This summer, everyone's going to Sherwood Forest. See the most popular summer movie in America. Kevin Costner is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, rated PG-13. Now playing at a theater near you.
Toyota's July 4th weekend blowout means explosive deals because double deal days means booming savings now and later with special holiday deals and red-hot values in America's lowest price sedan, plus blazing factory-to-dealer incentives and option package savings. Save when you buy and when you drive. See your Toyota dealer now during his July 4th weekend blowout. Save now. Save later during double deal days. Get them while they're hot.
Tell Playboy bottomless, yes. Topless, no. Now this sexy British beauty will tell us why on Entertainment Tonight.
Entertainment Tonight, weeknights at 7:30 only on Channel 4. Listen to Tony's Sports Updates every weekday morning on Magic 102.7.
From your 24-hour news source, Channel 4 News continues.
Yeah, so you're just talking about McEnroe, and after today's performance, vocal performance, that is, you got to admit he hasn't lost his spark.
You're here all week, aren't you?
We're
going to have some fun. Well, if he never plays another Wimbledon, at least John McEnroe went out the way he came in, cursing. This is the McEnroe we know and love, heading for another confrontation with the umpire.
That ball was a foot outside the line. That ball was a foot wide, and I'm not exaggerating. A foot wide is close to you?
Yeah, give him what for, Johnny Mac. That was rated PG, but British television had to bleep some other outbursts during McEnroe's match with Stefan Edberg, which wasn't close either. After the first set, the defending champion won this exchange and the match in straight sets, and who knows if Mac will be back at Wimbledon again. Aranxa Sanchez-Vicario was trying to keep Miami's Mary Jo Fernandez from reaching her first Wimbledon semifinal. Match point, Sanchez's shot hits the net cord. Mary Jo gets the favorable fall. She wins 6-2, 7-5, and what a thrill for her. But the semifinals will not be so easy because on the other side of the net, she'll be facing Steffi Graf, shown here in the near court against Zina Garrison. Steffi at the net. Talk about athleticism. Look at that backhand smash. She takes straight sets 1 and 3. But tune in tomorrow for the completion of this one. Jenny Capriati ripping winners all day, driving Martina Navratilova nuts. Capriati leading this match 6-4, 2-3 in the second when rain suspended play. Sabatini leading Gildemeister when the rain hit. Other men advancing, Wheaton, Courier, and Steech. Want to know how bad things are going for the Chicago Cubs, huh? Yeah. Do you? Well, consider the case of Gary Varsho. In the Cubs organization for 9 years before being traded to the Pirates this spring, he never hit a home run in the major leagues till today. He hit 2. against the Cubs. Pittsburgh with 22 hits, pound Chicago 13-4 elsewhere. Cincinnati over Atlanta, Mets beat the Expos, I should say. And St. Louis 6-1 over Philadelphia. LA, San Diego, no score in the first. Houston leads San Francisco 1-0 in the second. Happy birthday, Jose Canseco, and here's how he celebrated it in Texas tonight. A 3-run home run off Nolan Ryan after striking out his first time up. But fellow Miami and Rafael Palmeiro went Jose one better. A pair of dingers that had the Rangers in front 6-4. They now lead 6-5 in the seventh. Elsewhere, Toronto over Minnesota. The Yankees beat Cleveland. Boston 12-3 over Milwaukee in the eighth. Detroit 4-3 over Baltimore. Kansas City, California, no score second. Chicago leads Seattle 2-0 in the first. A rose is an actor. Pete Rose, banished from baseball, is making his first movie, playing the role of Ty Cobb in an NBC made-for-TV movie about Babe Ruth. Pete, looking spiffy in period dress of the 20s, shot his scenes in Cleveland today. They turned back the clock at Municipal Stadium. The movie probably will air in October right here on Channel 4 NBC. The city of Miami Beach will honor one of boxing's all-time greatest, Muhammad Ali, by renaming a wing of the Beach Convention Hall after him. Ali and other boxing celebrities will be here for the day-long tribute July 29th. Ali, of course, won the title from Sonny Liston at the Convention Hall in 1964. Don King says negotiations are proceeding on a Mike Tyson-George Foreman fight later this year. Says it could gross $100 million. Speaking of generating money, sales of Chicago Bulls merchandise could hit $45 million in the wake of their NBA title. That's more than double the previous record set by the Pistons, and NBA league-wide sales could hit $1 billion. $1 billion.
I wonder what Michael's cut is on that.
Michael doesn't get a cut on that.
Oh,
he makes enough elsewhere.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. And coming up next on the Channel 4 News Nightcast, will we or won't we get a full day of sunshine, that is?
Brian Norcross is going to be along with the forecast and also says the tropics are getting a bit more interesting. What does he mean?
I don't know.
The Nightcast is coming right back.
Channel 4 News at 11 is sponsored in part by Cellular One.
Cellular One on cellular communication. If you don't know where a person is, you can only try to phone the places he might be. But imagine the freedom of being able just to phone the person, regardless of where he is. Each person, one number. Cellular One is now building the nationwide network to make this dream a reality. Cellular One. Imagine. No limits. To learn more, call 1-800-IMAGINE.
Your car not making you as happy as it once did? Sounds like it's time for a new Nissan. Right now, you can make your best deal on Sentra, priced hundreds less than Honda Civic. Stands out with a more powerful standard engine than Camry or Accord, and the 153 horsepower Nissan truck. The Screaming Summer Spectacular ends July 6th, so see your Florida Nissan dealer today. He'll give you something to smile about.
Angelo, you gotta see this. DiGiorno pasta.
That's a pasta from a grocery store.
It's in a refrigerated case.
Tortellini, ravioli, 4 cheese sauce, marinara.
DiGiorno must have read our menu. And taste.
Uh-oh.
If people can make pasta this good at home, why come here?
Ambiance?
For restaurant taste at your place, DiGiorno.
I know what I like to eat. That's easy. Making sure it's healthy, that's not so easy. But Healthy Choice makes healthy eating very easy. Because these meals are simply delicious, but all low fat, low cholesterol, and low sodium. If you want good tasting food, there is a choice. And with Healthy Choice, the choice is yours.
Now the choice is yours at breakfast, too. Healthy Choice introduces an egg product, hearty breakfast sandwiches, and fruit-filled muffins.
From your 24-hour news source, Channel 4 News continues.
A lot of visitors in town wanting to know, Brian, tonight, will the 4th be rained out? All those nice festivities around.
Maybe. No, it's actually getting a little better, but still, it's going to storm each day. You know, it's just everybody get real lucky all at one time. We'll be good. We'll be good, yeah. Take a look outside downtown Miami. 82 degrees. It is soupy as nothing out there, and it feels like 90 with the humidity at 79%, wind south at 6, and just a little shower here this afternoon. Temperatures at 11 o'clock in the upper 70s to the low 80s all around town. On the record today, we hit 91 degrees, 2 degrees off our record high for this date of 93. Take a look look at the, well, that's the radar, and you see nothing going on down here. Now, check this satellite picture out. We're looking at the tropics because, now this is Africa, this is the Atlantic. Look at these systems now moving off of Africa. Just let you know, we are getting into the season where those things start out there. Still, conditions not favorable for more development. On the national weather map, look how hot it was around the country today. 100 at Wichita Falls, 100 at Monroe, Louisiana. 89 at Beckley was a record. Look at the 90s all the way up to Chicagoland. You think that's hot? 122 degrees today at Death Valley. They've been as warm as 134 there, so it can be worse. Nasty weather all along this front from Virginia down to the Carolinas, up into Indiana and Kentucky. Damaging winds from heavy thunderstorms there, 4 inches deep in hail out in New Mexico today. Now, through the south tomorrow, we've got lots of steamy sunshine. That means big thunderstorms and just hot and humid again as the cooler air pushes down from the north. Here's our boating forecast for tomorrow. Winds out of the south 10 knots, seas 2 feet or less. Bay water's a light chop and a surf temperature at 85 degrees. Tonight, 76, warm and soupy out there. 92 again tomorrow. Under the hot sunshine in the morning, and then the showers move in. Same story for Thursday, but I think we'll have some good sunshine, at least a pretty good 4th. That's it. We'll see you tomorrow. Now here's Teresa.
Thank you, Brian. As we told you at the top of the broadcast, a Code 1 fire has broken out on South Miami Beach, 136 Collins Avenue. Now, a number of nearby residents have been evacuated. Channel 4's Brian Allen is standing by live from South Beach with details. What can you tell us at this time, Brian?
Well, that's right, Teresa. If you go ahead and take a look back here, you see this building right here. That was the apartment building right next to the vacant building that was up in flames. Now, earlier tonight, those flames could be seen from the city of Miami. Now, right now, most of the flames are under control. The firefighters have been out. They've been changing air tanks, going back in. Taking a look. Now, we've heard some people tell us this building's been vacant for about the past 4 years or so. And one of the people that was out here as a witness told us that there were a lot of dressers inside this building with a lot of particle board, and that's what really seemed to be burning. As you can see from the tape, the flames were really visible in this fire. That's the reason for the evacuation next door, but it was quickly put under control. And now the firefighters are just going around throwing more water onto the fire, looking for hot spots, and to make sure that the fire stays under control. Still no word yet on to what time the people next door will be allowed to be let back into their building. It's quite a bit of smoke down here. I know as I came across the MacArthur Causeway, there was smoke all the way back up to Biscayne Bay, and a lot of thick smoke down through here now. So they're here cleaning up and just finishing up. Yes.
Excuse me, Brian, any word of any injuries? Anybody injured while they were evacuating, or?
No, we have no word of any injuries whatsoever.
Do we know at this point what started the fire?
No, not yet. They had to get it under control first before they can even get inside.
Okay, how about traffic? Is it tying up traffic in any way at this time?
Well, this part of Collins really isn't that too heavily traveled. They've got people diverted up to Washington, and then also the street back here to the north, or actually to the west of Collins.
All right, thank you, Brian, for that live report. And that does it for us. Thanks for watching. We'll look for you again tomorrow.
Good night.
Have a good night.